Scrimmage 2 Juice.
Yeah, real quick, before we get started, I want to send our thoughts and prayers to our neighbors to the north. You know, obviously it's smoky down here. It's nothing what a lot of people up there are going through, and I think that's really important. We're with them here in Eastern Washington, and our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in the Spokane Valley and area, and we're thinking about you. So to transition that, okay, to go to Juice, I think it was really important. Okay, two, a guy I think has been really consistent. Went on here that had a big interception in the red zone, Kapena Gushikin. Okay, I think his skill set fits exactly what we want to do and excited about it. Isaiah Hamilton, okay, on offense, I just think he's one of those guys you forget about quite often with the firepower we have. You tell him to turn that down. Okay, and then for two young guys, Michael Hughes, defensive end, and then Ashton Tripp has been phenomenal. The dude is 17, he's 6'8", he's athletic. I'm just so happy with where his progress is, and we'll be talking about him again in a couple of years.
I think probably fair to say this was the best Cam has looked in fall. I mean, he throws 4 touchdowns. It looked like he had all of his Cam Ward magic going. What did you see out of Cam personally?
It was awesome with Cam. We had a meeting today, just me and him, and just wanted to see where he was at. You know, and I think as you get to this moment, he puts a lot of pressure on himself. But I've been really pleased with where he's at really all week, and I think this is just the culmination of a great week of practice, great situations, him going out there and commanding the offense and then throwing strikes. And I really saw that Wednesday night. I know we didn't get a chance to talk, but then tonight he was just fantastic. And I told him today he's going to take us to places he didn't even think we could. Okay, and we're going to go as he goes. And I'm all in. He's got the keys to the car, and just be himself.
Coach, this is a highly talked about position obviously so far, but Cam obviously went crazy, but doing it to several different targets,
yeah.
4 different receivers catching touchdowns from him. Just how you think the depth of the wide receiver position has developed to this point right now?
I'm really happy with it. You know, the pieces have been moving in and out. I think Kyle Williams has gotten himself in a really consistent area. I think Josh continues to grow and get better. Great to see DT back. You know, I know he was a little hesitant out there, you could tell. Isaiah, Orion, Josh Meredith, Zion's finally healthy. We got to get Leighton back here next week. We will. I'm just really happy with where they're at, because I told the defense today, this isn't tag anymore. You got to tackle these guys. So I think sometimes when we do these drills, it seems easy, but man, these guys can make people miss. I think we got a bunch of playmakers out there, and I've said it from jump. I think our wide receivers are more athletic than we were a year ago.
On a couple of those throws, Cam went kind of across his body to make those throws. Has his arm strength increased at all, or what do you see out of his arm?
You're new here, right? What? This is what Cam does now. He's going to do some weird deals. Sometimes you try to put Cam in a box. You just got to let him play his game. Every once in a while, he threw a pass lefty last year. I think I draw the line at that. But other than that, you got to cut him loose and let him go play, and that's his game, and that's what makes him magical.
You mentioned the meeting you had with him earlier today. What did you kind of tell him in that meeting? I think
it's private. Just a little bit about where he's at. Don't put pressure on yourself. I think the biggest thing I've seen out of players, it isn't if he throws 5,000 or 2,000. It's the intangible pieces that he has, and I think he has it on tape. So everyone, sometimes they put pressure on every throw. And the bottom thing is just accountability and how he has to hold everyone around him accountable.
I never thought we would see an excessive celebration penalty in a scrimmage, but Carlos is on the receiving end of that one. Yeah. I'm curious about that penalty, and overall, you guys had 10 or 11 penalties tonight. Just curious kind of what your take on those were tonight.
Well, they're Pac-12 refs out here tonight, so you know how that goes. No, I'm just kidding. Don't find me for that. I want him to throw everything because I want a bunch of learns. Okay, so I was pretty emphatic. The week before. Lincoln would have had a celebration penalty. Now Carlos, we got to learn from that stuff. We can't do that. And that's a young player that's excited to score. It was a little bit sloppier. Some holding mistakes and some things you'll take. But this is our first time really having a bunch of flags.
Jake, I know obviously you talked about Cam and everything he did, but what were your thoughts on the offense as a whole tonight? It seemed like they had things clicking.
Yeah, I think the one crew was really clicking, and I'm still the group we never talk about enough is the offensive line. We still don't have Falili back. I think Brock Dew, Another guy that's just been working and working and working to get to this point. Make is way more comfortable as an inside guard. Christie has shown his ability to swing, and Essa's getting more and more comfortable at that left tackle spot. So as much as all the other flair and guys catching the ball and stuff is important to me, that's the group that's going to take us places on offense. And we are better. And we need to continue to build that consistency of that crew, because we haven't had the same 5 guys through 18 days of fall camp. So in a couple weeks here, obviously we're playing a game and we got to get that group gelled and ready to go. But I would anticipate at least 7 guys probably playing in that rotation.
Coach. And then last question I have for you, maybe the highlight of tonight. I turned to Jamie on this one. Capena, his interception, the whole defense came out. And
that was a big one. I'm trying to think. I saw who scored that touchdown. Isaiah down the seam early. That was big just to get us jump started a little bit off of that first drive. We talk about fast start and starting fast all the time. For the offense to do that, I thought that was a great play.
Jake, what was the difference? Your offense way crisper, way better today than it was in the first scrimmage. What happened in this last week?
I think the biggest thing is we're always constantly working on things, and I don't necessarily even just look at it as a success of plays more than techniques. And I think we weren't fundamentally sound in that first one to do things that we wanted to do the way we want to do it. I thought tonight you saw the tempo, you saw the energy, you saw playing fast, you saw all the different types of personnels that Coach Buck is going to use on the offensive side. So I think you saw the full arsenal tonight, and I think that's exactly where we want to be at this stage in camp.
Did you notice how many people were here tonight? I mean, it's a scrimmage. It's not a spring game. It was
awesome. I was rushing to try to get the mic just to thank him. I know this. The energy is high around here. I think the anticipation for this season is awesome, and I just thank everyone that came out tonight, because there's nothing like playing under the bright lights in front of fans, feeling that energy again. I just told the guys, we're 2 weeks away. And that 2 weeks is going to fly by. It's going to be rocking in Fort Collins. And then the following week against Wisconsin, the top's going to blow off this place. So I'm just excited to get to football.
Yeah, 2 weeks and tell it. How does the mentality change for these next 2 weeks?
Well, I think today, to me, that second scrimmage in fall camp is a little like spring game. I'm just back there just like, nobody get hurt, keep the trainers on the sideline, let's get off the field, and let's start preparing. So it's that fine line of getting ready for schemes of Colorado State, but also staying sharp as far as playing against really good speed and competition. So we'll find that line, but we need to be peaking here in 2 weeks. It's been a hard 18 days. That's exactly the way we wanted it, and we'll get these guys fresh and ready to run.
What do you think about your guys' run defense today out there in the scrimmage?
It's been hit and miss kind of all camp, if I'm being honest. I think there were some really, really big positives, and there was a couple that broke. I don't have the numbers in front of me. There was a point in the scrimmage I did tell Coach Buck, I said, I want to see if we can run the ball. And that's just kind of my nature, and I think that's a double-sided deal. I don't care if the defense knows. I want to see if we can run the ball and be physical. So we got to answer the ball on both sides. I thought there was some sloppiness in coverage at times that we got to clean up, and we'll learn from this film.
And then, the smoke today, did that change anything you guys did today, or something you kind of just deal with, one of those things you can't really change?
Yeah, I think we're still in the safe zone. So we continue to go. I know some guys with asthma, we just got to make sure as training staff that we're on those guys. All right, thanks, guys. Go Cougs.